Right, we have bigger moons. We've got like Titan, and we've got like Ganymede, and we've got some real big moons out there surrounding our gas giants, right? But essentially it is, you know, Saturn's moons, and then it is Jupiter's moons, and then it is Earth's moon. Our unit right now is planetary science. So we're focusing on the solar system, and we just talked about the formation of the planets. Today we have 3 different articles. The students will read the articles, and then we'll use a word, phrase, sentence to start a discussion. These articles are about the formation of the moon. And for a very long time, the formation of the moon was a topic that was hotly debated. I chose these articles because I knew that there was good, accessible data for the students, and I wanted them to have data that did not coincide. So I'm going to give a different article to each of you, then we will take down in your notebooks a word that captures what you think the essence of this article is, a phrase that helps you to understand it, right? And then a sentence that really helps to nail home the point of this entire text, right? Then we'll talk about it as a class, and we're going to come to some conclusion. The 3 articles differ in terms of their difficulty. I will hand out the articles to individual students. The idea that learning happens at the point of challenge is really crucial. I've really taken it to heart, and it's changed the way that I teach. So I chose challenging articles, but there is also not so much challenge as to be overwhelming, right? I'm hoping to find that balance there. Yeah. Questions or concerns about what I'm asking you to do? Okay, good luck. Select a word that you think really is the basis of this argument. A phrase that really stood out in terms of like support.
They've got me crossed. I don't get how they did that. What is this? What is this?
Out into the early Earth. That makes up the Earth and the Moon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's the vibe of this article?
It's like
One word.
planetary.
There we go. So I chose word, phrase, sentence because it's good for discussion, helps to codify your own thinking. Because I think that to work from a very specific thing, a word, right, and then to grow that idea into a phrase, and then to grow that even further into a sentence, helps to construct an argument. A sentence that essentially summarizes the whole thing. And though the articles are difficult, I think word, phrase, sentence helps to kind of make that a little bit more accessible to them, right? If they have to think about just one word, the vibe of this article, right? The essence of this article, they can get that. If you're done and you read Formation of the Moon, you can go ahead up there and record some of that stuff on the board. The students are familiar with word, phrase, sentence. The school has really embraced the Harvard Project Zero thinking routines. So they're really very familiar with these, and it's very useful that they have this structure that they can refer back to. This first article called The Formation of the Moon, man, doesn't that just sound like absolute certainty, right? This is the formation of the moon, right? Let's hear some of these words that we've got up here. Coalesced, planetary, understanding, seismic, theory, origin, ejecta. That is a fun one, right? Ejecta. What do these words make you feel? Nancy is so smart, right? I gotta push my glasses up my nose, right? Thank you. Yeah, these are some pretty good words, right? And I put these number 3s up here to represent that these words were represented by the formation of the moon, right? Here we have some phrases. They recognize the moon as the companion to the earth. Oh, isn't that just so lovely, right? That idea that we've got a partner up there. The chemistry of the universe, very good. Lunar rocks were found to have fewer volatile elements than those were. I like this one a lot. Why do you guys think I like this one? Starts with D, ends in "-ata", Data, right? Here we have research will need to employ next generation models to connect various origin scenarios to predict the moon's properties, which will then be verified through observation. Wow, that one is sciencey for sure, right? Whoever wrote that one up there. Future studies of other planets in the solar system could confirm or rule out these predictions. What was the primary argument for this article? Yes.
Yeah, I got hit by a planet called like Theia, and it created a ring, and then eventually it all came together out of the ring into one moon.
Good. Who believes this theory? Does it feel like from these words, these phrases, these sentences, like this is a solid theory? Is it uncontested?
Yes.
Interesting, right? Let's get maybe just 2 or 3 people come on up here from the multi-moon theory. And we'll do the same thing, right? I want a word, I want a phrase, I want a sentence. Put a number 2 next to them. I want to see, right, if these things are also applicable to this secondary theory called the multi-moon theory. Let's get maybe a handful of you guys up here.
Right.
Yeah. If you're like, okay, my theory was also about ejecta.
One case I wrote, that kind of works with my article.
What I noticed was that regardless of the article, the words and the phrases and the sentences that the students were selecting were similar. But there were some opposing theories already kind of starting to take evidence. I was also pretty happy with how many people actually really participated. So I was expecting 1 or 2 students to come up, and it was almost everyone who'd read that article wanted to get their input. What else could you say about that just by looking up at these word phrases and sentences? Yeah, go ahead, Bryce.
They both have like theories and hypotheses.
Right. What do you think that means about science's current ideas about the formation of the moon? Go ahead, Rory.
Like maybe the tech isn't quite advanced to like for sure. No, and all we can really do is speculate.
Go ahead,
There's
Brian.
a lot of debate about it. Like everyone's like, a lot of people assume, oh, stuff crashed into each other and that's how it happens. Or tiny stuff from the Earth crashed into other pieces of Earth, creating the moon. So it's just like all these different ideas that there's a bunch of different theories and we haven't done to a point where we can move them all.
Remember that part of the beauty of science is that we can constantly overturn these theories with new evidence, right? Was there anything up here that absolutely works against one theory or the other?
No.
Any of these words that you're like, if that's right, then the other one is entirely right, unbased. What about in the phrases? Anything here where you're like, that doesn't look right? That does not suit my article.
All random theories.
Yeah, man, isn't that just like a loose end here? All 3 people said that this suited their argument. And we could see what ideas, worked for both theories, and we could see which ideas were strictly the multi-moon theory and which were strictly the giant impact theory. So kind of having that as a visual representation of what the supporting ideas of the arguments were was really fun and interesting. How Earth got its moon. Anybody from that group who has a word or a phrase or a sentence that is entirely opposed, that might absolutely overturn our table, right, in terms of this discussion? Anybody have any words, phrases, sentences from that first article? And we're all going to watch Fred write this.
Oh yeah, guys.
You can do it, Fred.
Go ahead.
Right, you got this. Would you read this out loud for us?
We don't need one special impact to form the moon.
You don't need just one special impact to form the moon. We will continue this discussion next class. I'm going to take a picture of this, right, and then I'll upload it onto the smartboard so that we can continue this. I was really pleased that the students have really, I think, taken it into themselves that science isn't about truth, that it is about fact and support and evidence for an argument. But the students really recognized that it's okay to have competing theories, that we don't have to know something to have an idea about something. And I think that it really pleased me that they took that to heart.